I remember university. I remember hoping that it was finally going to be that life-changing experience where I'd finally get a group of friends. I'd finally have at least one friend. But that wasn't the case. I remember walking in, everybody was new, no one had any idea, everybody was nervous pretty much. I thought it would be the best opportunity to finally maybe, start developing friendships. I had a buddy for 2 days and then she ditched me for her kind of friends who were really bubbly, who made jokes all the time, which is me as well, but it takes time for me. But she left and then I was a complete loner pretty much for the rest of the years. And I also remember I was just the observer, pretty much observing everybody, small talking in the first few weeks and then developing friendships and then becoming really close. And I just observed and observed. That's pretty much what I did. When it came to tutorials and lectures, these were really important in university. I knew I was going to be a loner. I did not want social anxiety to affect my studies. So obviously I found my little techniques that I would use to get through these things without feeling so anxious. For every class that I went to, I would sit in the back row corner seat. That was my golden seat because I felt most comfortable. I felt like nobody could see me, even though that was not true. It just felt like that. And so that's how I got through all my classes, by sitting in that seat. But to get that seat, I had to go to class early. So I would be the first one to walk through the doors. Now, when I was waiting outside those doors, people would come, which would turn into 50, hundreds of people waiting outside the door. It was really hard for me, seeing other people getting along, seeing groups and groups and circles of people just laughing, talking like they knew each other for years, even though we started the course at the same time. I was the only one who was alone, sitting on a chair watching everyone. It made me feel like crap. It made me feel like something was wrong with me. It made me want an answer as to why I was alone and why I couldn't fit in and why I couldn't socialize, even though I know I can. It's a weird feeling. And so I would create my own reasons as to why people didn't want to talk to me. I thought I was ugly. I thought I was gross. I thought there was something so off about me. I just thought I was the most weirdest human. And it makes sense why I was thinking that, because I just wanted it to all make sense. And university can be long, really long days, from starting from 9 o'clock, finishing in the evening. Obviously, lunchtimes, as usual, I would use the bathroom to eat in, or once I bought my car, I was eating in the car. But the others, they would eat in the cafeteria, and that was like my dream place. Like, it was like, I still can't do that yet. I still can't go to those kind of places. It's really scary for me. And yeah, so I always wanted to be, a part of that, because it's also takes your mind off studying, just having some fun during lunchtime. But for me, it was just like, sitting alone in a box and trying to just eat on my own with my own thoughts. But I became used to that because I was doing that since high school. So university has group assignments, which you can't avoid because you need to pass them to pass the subject. So luckily we got to choose the people we would do group assignments with 90% of the time. So guys, people my age intimidate me. For some reason, it puts me under a lot of pressure to socialize rather than actually do the work with them. So I had to be smart about it, and I was like, I remember seeing a few older ladies who were like the age of my mum, and I just went to them and I knew they were going to be kind, and they were. They were so sweet, so loving, like my mother, and it just helped me get through all the group assignments because I did all of them with them, and thank goodness for that. I'm not sure how students with social anxiety nowadays cope. But sometimes group assignments would just be with random people, and that was really hard because I would not contribute. Even though I had so many ideas in my head, I just couldn't contribute. And so people, you know, they'd be like talking away, and then they'd be like, someone would notice that I was so quiet, and they'd be like, Anita, do you want to say something? And I'd just be like, yeah, that's what, just what she said, that's what I was gonna say. And I'd always say that, and people would just, you know, get used to the fact that I was really quiet. They didn't even care as to why or ask, you know, anything. They would just let me be. The good thing in university is that I didn't get bullied or teased. People just accepted me as the quiet girl who didn't talk really, or just was just doing her work. I'm so thankful I didn't get bullied. At the same time, it hurts that no one gave a shit. It's better than bullying, but it still sucks, you know. But yeah, the only reason people would come and talk to me is if they wanted help with an assignment, because I was a very high achieving student. People would be like, oh, you got 98%, can you help me with my assignment? Initially I would help them because I, you know, it was really nice, that really nice girl. But then eventually I was just like, I just became really cold. I was just like, you know what, why don't you use the books that I used? It's just right there. And I just like, I just didn't care how I came across. Even if I came across as a bitch, I didn't give a shit because I had gone through enough, you know. So yeah, to all the students going through social anxiety, people, I don't think some people even know what it is, or some people just think like it's shyness. They, you know, it's a very misunderstood thing. But for those who are people who really have that social anxiety and it's affecting their university, the way I got through it was talking to myself. What I mean by that is I kept telling myself why I was doing the course in the first place. I kept reminding myself it's because I want to get that certificate, get out of there and find a job. And I kept telling myself that. I focused on myself, focused on my goal, pushed myself when times were hard. It doesn't sound as, I guess, painful when I say these things, experiences, but in the time of going through it, it was really, really hard, because it's like, it's a really hard thing to go through, you know, going through everything alone. So I would tell myself to keep going and just to not care about anybody, even though I didn't have any friends, even though I wanted to have friends. I was like, maybe one day in the future you will, and it's just not right now. And the thing was, it made me study harder, and at the end I was the one who got high distinctions for every subject except for one where I got distinction. And I was so proud of myself that I was able to complete something in my life without social anxiety getting in the way. And I promise you, your social life will get better. You guys can do it. Students out there, you can do it. If I did it, you can do it. It's tough, but it makes you stronger. It makes you, it's an experience, guys. It's an experience. It's not everything's going to be like this. I can tell you now that I have 3 friends. I'm not a loner now, which I'll talk about another time, but it was worth the wait of finally having 3 friends who are like amazing. Like, I don't even have to worry that they are gonna do something bad to me. They are just the best of the best, and it was worth it, you know. A lot of people have fake friends out there, and I can happily say that I have 3 really, really awesome friends now. It's, yeah. Thanks for listening, guys, and students, you can do it. You can do it. I love you. I love you so much, guys.